you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now. Got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now. Got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Bruins Vibes.
Bruins win the Stanley Cup. Here pressure going into the corner. But, oh, there goes a pane of glass on a gigantic. Are you kidding me?
The sickest Boston Bruins podcast.
Sends it in, and it's Pasternak scores! Series winner for David Pasternak and the Bruins.
It's gonna be sick.
Hey, here we go. Episode 20 of the Bruins Vibes podcast. I'm your guy, Brendan Sennott, joined by hockey scribe extraordinaire Jimmy Murphy. Red Wings 5, Bruins 4 tonight. Jimmy back from the Emerald Isle. Jimmy, what's up, man? How are you tonight?
Looking forward to sleep, my friend. Trying to catch up, trying to adapt back to the Eastern Standard Time. Cannot shake this damn cold that I had when I was with you the last time, but it's not like it was then. I'm definitely better than that. But all that being said, I'm not complaining. If this is the price I pay for a job and a journey that takes me to Ireland, then so
take it easy, Aaron Andrews, with your self-pity there.
Yeah, no, it was no,
life.
I just feel bad for our viewers that they have to look at me like this and listen to my voice all like this. But no, it was great. It was an amazing trip. This place right here, McConnell's Distillery. If you're ever in Belfast, Northern Ireland, I highly suggest checking it out. We were able to broadcast live from there. Brendan,
love McConnell's. Good stuff. I think I got an empty bottle of that somewhere around here.
Yeah, you know what? You need to give it to the poltergeist guy that keeps invading your screen. Get him nice and toasty so he doesn't bother you like that.
Well, it's I don't know. I think I need a new ISP. I think that's
no. I don't think it's you, man. I actually think it's StreamYard because I see a lot of people these days having that issue. But anyhow, McConnell's, as I told you, Brendan, via text and message, and I'll be posting a lot of pictures tomorrow. It was formerly a prison for the IRA. This is where the British would put the women soldiers in the IRA. It was the women's wing. You have to see the size of these cells. I don't know. They would fit 4 people in basically what was like a closet. And also there were no toilets. So this happened up until 1996. So look, I'm not going to get into politics because obviously, if you can guess by my name, I'm a little partisan of those conflicts. And the reason I was there was to celebrate. Dude, you're good. I wouldn't touch it again. You're perfect, bro. You're good. And then anyhow, it was a jail until 1996, and then it sat dormant until 2024 when they opened it back up as a distillery, Brennan. It was amazing. Hockey, prison, and whiskey. What a combo. It was fun, but I want to thank you for holding up the fort while I was gone. You did a great job. I was watching from afar when I would wake up for breakfast because most of the time you were on between 3 and 5 in the morning Belfast time. So it was great. It was awesome, but missed your ugly mug, and here we are.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's good to have you back. A classic battle of mid teams in the NHL, and maybe, in my opinion, less than mid. And then you have Bruins without their perennial MVP, their heart and soul, their should-be captain. I mean, I don't know how much longer we can delay this. Like, hurry up and give this guy the C. The team feeds off his emotion. They were just completely flat and not really there tonight. I'm certainly glad I didn't spend any money to take the family down or try to get a credential to that one because I was meh watching it, and here we are talking about it. So what do you think? First topic. I mean, obviously good things. Take some positives out of it. How about Alex Steves?
Well,
2 goals on the night. What a sign this guy's been. This guy better not go anywhere near Providence the rest of the year. He throws his body around. He goes to the net. This dude's a hockey player.
Yeah, well, you know what? Why don't we bring in our good friend Bridgette Proulx from WEI, who's joining us? She's in the studio right now. We'll talk about that. Hey,
Bridgette, how you doing?
Hey, how are you guys?
Welcome.
Better than the Bruins right now.
A little bit better, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a barn burner tonight, eh?
That wasn't the prettiest hockey. I know, Jimmy, you watched it, and I saw you tweeting about some of the mistakes they were making, and just some really poor defense. And I did think it was a particularly bad game for Andrew Peak, who I
This is
believe was
rare.
on the ice for all 5 goals against. That Hampus Lindholm Andrew Peak pair definitely has seen better games.
Yeah, I think as I was saying to Brendan, Bridgette off air, yeah, they came out flat for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe, as we were saying, they've been overachieving a lot. I think we can all agree. And that's not an insult to them. It's just the reality. So these games are going to happen. Sometimes you come back to earth. And I wonder too, they've been getting a lot of love from the media, not just locally, but nationally. You start to feel a little comfortable. And they looked like a team that felt a little too comfortable in the first period, at least. And you can't feel that way from the get-go in the NHL. You're going to get burnt. But um, I think anyone can point to Pasta being out, and that's obviously an effect. No one's arguing that. But I think the biggest thing, and you guys watched it live, but I rewatched it because I was in Belfast. I rewatched the game Monday morning from Saturday, and the thing that stood out to me was basically the Bruins were hitting anything in sight, especially down low against the boards when they would dump the puck in and just crush what, as Brendan termed correctly off air, I think is a soft Detroit defense. Where was that? I didn't. Why did they not keep doing that tonight? That was my biggest question about this. People can point to Swayman, we can point to a lot of turnovers, but at the same time, where was that? Because that game plan worked. Why do you think, Bridgette, that they veered away from that?
I don't know. I mean, what I saw was, yeah, definitely a little bit less physicality from the team as a whole, but I do feel like there was something with the officials. I'm sure you guys had some questions about
Yeah,
why were
Point.
there two really good, like really quick game misconducts for Zadorov and Kastelik.
Good
I don't
call.
think either of those deserved a game misconduct, and
Nope.
I just thought that that was over the top, and I think maybe they kind of knew who they were dealing with in terms
yeah.
of the officials, and they did get penalized. They ended up on the short end of the stick of quite a few calls, so I don't know if maybe that played
Did you
into it
guys
at
have
all.
problems with Nesson at all with the
I did.
broadcast?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did a
So
little
here's
bit.
my thing. And there was one before that first weird 10-minute one.
Catholic.
I had a lapse where I didn't see anything, and then it just was back. But something happened obviously in between. I feel like maybe, and I'm not trying to knock Nesson, they do a great job, but I feel like maybe there are times we didn't see things that led to that, like what prefaced it, because it is really weird. I think that's a great point by you, Bridgette, where you don't see referees just almost automatically tack on the 10 minutes there. There had to be something that built up to that point. Like that was the boiling point. So before we throw the refs to the coals here, I'd really I want to read their post game comments and maybe think, kind of regurgitate or, react to that tomorrow because it just made no sense. I mean, did you see Kostelik? He was getting his stick held and he gets the 10.
Yeah.
To your point, Jimmy, I think what you said was that we didn't see what happened before
Yeah,
that. There might have been some jousting and
right.
whatever.
Well, I'm hesitant
You know
to
what I
just
mean?
like I don't think the refs were that great overall, but I don't want to throw
No.
them under the bus yet for that.
No,
Just
I
because.
will. I'll throw the refs under the
All
bus.
right.
I'm with you all the way, Bridget. But to your point, as and we know Judd sometimes gets a little overly excited, but like when Sider had his stick up by like Zadorov's throat, it was like, really? Like, and he just got 2 minutes? Like, that was a little weird to me. Like,
Yeah.
anyone's gonna snap at that point. I mean, I don't know. Zadorov with all the penalties is kind of a whipping boy, but like for that kind of stuff. But to me, that was kind of justified that he blew
It's
his
got to
stack
be
there.
some history or something. Maybe it wasn't even in this game. I mean, it's just. I think it's a great point by Bridgette that those are really fast. It was almost.
You're out of here.
It was like premeditated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You
like
know.
it's a reputation call, right? Like Zadorov is a big
Yeah.
guy that gets
Like
a lot of
Brendan said. Yep.
penalties, and then you see him going after Sider, and Sider took and Kastelik kind of knocked Sider out last time they played. He ended up coming back into the game, but it did seem like that in that fight he maybe lost consciousness for a second. He definitely goes bell rung.
Agreed.
So maybe they're trying to protect Mo Sider. Yeah, I think that, to me it seemed like a reputation call for Zadorov, but maybe Kastelik too, because he's a fighter and just
Yeah.
they thought they saw something, and I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know.
right. That was brutal Saturday. Like that was like
Yeah, he
Mike
attacked him.
Tyson versus like Tomato Can back in the day. Like bad.
I could not believe
This
they
is
let Snyder
Hurricane.
play after that. He came back, so.
Yeah,
Good call.
not the best look for the NHL then, if you ask me. But Bridgette, look, you've been around this team on a daily basis. And as I was saying earlier, I think, a lot of people can agree they're overachieving, and that's not a downplay to what they're doing. But how have they been able to overcome their roster, their lineup, which I think coming into the season, a lot of people looked at it. You look at them on paper, it wasn't exactly intimidating. I'm talking skill wise. But then the injuries, every time we seem to think, okay, here comes the reality slap, and here comes what we expect with the Bruins. They answer the bell and they go on a run, and they prove us wrong. And like you're there in the room. What's the vibe like around this team? I would imagine it's pretty good, and there's a lot of chemistry there.
Yeah, so during that 6-game losing streak, it was so rough. And there was a lot that was going wrong, and there was, maybe guys weren't up to speed on Sturm systems yet, especially defensively. And then once you see Hampus Lindholm come back and they have a healthy decor for a little bit, that's when they go on their win streak. They go on the 7-game win streak.
Yeah.
They are, they're at one point first place in the conference. And things seem to have turned around. And I think even injuries have really been a dominant theme in when they're winning versus when they're losing. Obviously, when you're missing someone like Hampus Lindholm, Charlie McAvoy, now David Pastrnak for 3 games in a row, that's going to affect your results no matter what. But I think there's a few guys that have done really solid jobs this season that have kept them, even when some of those guys are out, kept them in the win column. And Morgan Geekie is definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's had an awesome season. November was a great month for him, being tied with Nathan McKinnon for first place in the NHL in goals is crazy. And we're having a conversation about, should he be on Team Canada, or should he at least be, getting added to the list for them to do testing and be available if necessary? And he's just having such a great season. And Jeremy Swayman's had a bounce back season as well.
Yeah.
So even in those games where you're missing McAvoy or you're missing Hampus Lindholm, you are getting some better goaltending than last year. You're getting some secondary scoring, and you have some tough players too. But I do think that looking back, Geekie and Swayman have been big in some of those games where it could have gone either way. Those guys have made a big difference.
So that's a great point. So that ties into my next question. So you were on this team, Monty, Sacco, Sturm. What stands out as different to you with the Marco Sturm team versus the Monty Sacco team of last year?
I would say accountability is at the very forefront of what Sturm does, and he does not take it easy. In terms of his messaging, he kind of does the old school, you earn your ice time, and if you don't, you sit and you get healthy scratched. And he did that with Mason Lohrei. He missed 4 or 5 games in a row. He gets scratched for a chunk of time until they needed him to come back because of an injury.
Right.
And basically he wasn't going to take Jonathan Aspero out, who had come in to replace him, because he was playing really well. So you don't lose your spot in the lineup if you're doing everything right. You don't get the ice time if you're not doing the things that he wants you to do. And I think that's extended to goaltending. It happened with Casey Middlestat earlier in the season, getting scratched and then being better when he came back. And I just think Sturm follows a very strict system of accountability and earning ice time, where I think, Jimmy, this Montgomery, especially in the first season that he was coaching, it was almost all, it felt like player led. And obviously you have Patrice Bergeron at the time, so it's different. It's a little different. Like, you got somebody who you're like, this guy can kind of just tell people what to do and it's all going to work out fine. But it's definitely not that kind of a feel of let the players sort it out themselves. Sturm has his ideas and he's implemented them. And I think that it's gone over pretty well.
By the way, speaking of Patrice Bergeron, sorry, Jimmy, that commercial on Nesson about the Emmy where he that is pure TV gold. Yeah. He's acting like a diva and throws the water away and stuff, and he's getting on him. That commercial's brilliant. Like, it's kind of like spoofing like those old ESPN commercials a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's hysterical. I laugh
And
at
he's
it
the
every time.
antithesis of that, which makes it even better, like,
Yeah.
that's not him.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
great
yeah.
point by you, Bridget, too. And I've been saying this forever. And, I know that some players were not happy with me that I publicly said it, but, when Montgomery came here, even when Cassidy came here, like, you're coming into one of, if not the strongest cores of leadership in the NHL, and one that had such longevity that it's got to be tough for a head coach to come in and sort of stake his claim as the coach. And I think at times maybe Montgomery felt like he had to walk on eggshells because he didn't want to rattle the core or lose some of his leaders. He doesn't want to rub them the wrong way. So he's like, all right, I'm going to give them leeway, let them lead. But at the same time, I think maybe that was one of his downfalls and I'm not blaming him. I wouldn't have been able to do it either. That's just such a strong core that you don't want to be that guy to come in here and be like, no, this is how it should be done to Zdeno Chara or to Patrice Bergeron or to David Krejci. It's got to be a tough spot for a coach. And I think the fact, and I'm glad you brought it up, Sturm didn't have this. Like, those guys are all gone now, right? I mean, with the majority of them are gone. You could argue that McAvoy's still there in Pasta, but the majority of that center core of that team is gone. So it's almost like this team is waiting to be molded, and not just by guys in the dressing room, but by the coach too. And now Sturm can apply his leadership. And look, you made a great point. He's been very hard on them. He makes them earn their time. My biggest surprise is how well they've responded, because, not to sound like the old man here, but this generation of players doesn't always respond to tough love. And I give a lot of credit to these younger players on the Bruins roster who didn't become sensitive or be thin-skinned and took it for what it is and said, all right, then whether they use it as motivation to prove them wrong or they just took it as good advice, they've applied it on the ice. And I think they've got a good thing going.
At the end of the day, it's what they have to do, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sturm's going to be here. I don't see Sturm getting fired anytime soon. So, I mean, at least it seems like he's safe for a season at the very least.
Yeah.
And so if he doesn't like what you're doing, then you're not going to get ice time.
Exactly.
And that's just the
that's a good point. He's not a sitting duck like I think we all felt Montgomery was,
Yeah, he's going to be here. And I do think that there are some players on the team that help with that messaging, like Nikita Zadorov. He kind of has the old school mentality, like, if you don't deserve to be here, or if you don't work hard enough, you don't deserve to be here. And some of the players, including I think Pasternak, hold the younger guys accountable when they're making mistakes and when they're getting coaching. I think Pasternak's a great person. And you mentioned, maybe he should be the captain. I tend to agree with that. But I think what makes his leadership style good is that he is supportive, and he'll tell a guy like that's slumping, hey, don't worry about it. Like, keep your confidence up, but also definitely takes that tough coaching himself. Not that he really needs it that much. But when guys like Zadorov, McAvoy, Pasternak take the tough coaching and respond to it the right way, then everybody else kind of follows.
Good point.
Absolutely. So you watch a ton of hockey, Bridget. Tampa Bay is kind of out in front of the pack now in the East. Who else stands out to you in the Eastern Conference? I mean, Jimmy and I, we are kind of our bit on this show is that the whole Eastern Conference for the most part is our new favorite word, mid. Like
mid.
So
you're on the mid. Do you 6'7" too now, or what?
Well, I have two teenagers, so like my house is surrounded by 6'7".
We have
so I mean, like,
yes, we do.
My daughter might come running down the hallway now that I just said 6'7". So I think I'm going to sign off. Good night.
I summoned the teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, no one really jumps off the page. And then, hey, I mean, Jimmy and I said this a couple of weeks ago. He came around. If the Bruins make some roster for roster moves, it actually could be a factor. The way the East is kind of playing out. What do you think?
I think it's very much up for grabs. It is a very weird Eastern Conference in terms of the disparity. There's a lot of teams that are within reach of a playoff spot as of we talk about the Thanksgiving deadline. There's so many teams that are in the hunt that were really close to being in, even though they weren't quite out. And I don't know how you guys want to classify the Bruins because they were in by points, but not points percentage. So it's one of those things. It's like, to me, I feel like I wouldn't count that as in the playoffs as of Thanksgiving because they have played more games. So it's not really fair. So points percentage, I would say they were out. But I think, so not saying this is the team that I think is like the runaway team in the East, but I've been watching Montreal pretty closely this year. I'm sure you guys have talked about them a bit. Interesting to me that they're doing as well as they are. Did you lose me just there, by the way, for some reason? It kind of like went out on my end, but
yeah, no, it's been happening.
Yeah, StreamYard sometimes acts weird. Yeah, no,
again, so that's good.
Yeah, we're good. No, I agree with you. Like the one thing I look at too, and I'll credit my co-host on the eye test, Pierre McGuire, always says to look at goal differential, right? And you look at the East right now. So right now, the best goal differential is the Capitals at +19. Then you have the Lightning at +18 and the Hurricanes at 16. And then it's just kind of all the same, right? There's nobody really drastically bad or drastically good. Then you go to the West, like Colorado is just leagues ahead of anyone at +48, but you've got the Stars at +21, like
wagon.
Those are two elite teams to me right now. They're above the rest. But even the rest of the West is kind of mishmash. So it's like it's anyone's game. And, it's a great question by you, Brendan. Like I reported this week. I mean, I confirmed, I can tell you, I know for a fact that the Bruins are one of many teams. That doesn't mean they're going to acquire them. They're just doing their due diligence, as any team should do when you're in a playoff hunt, that looked into Kiefer Sherwood and also to Connor Garland. And they were given a hard no on Garland, but we all know that Sherwood's available. But here's the deal. Like, all right, I don't blame you if you want to make a deal to get some depth scoring and give yourself a shot, because I think you're right, Brendan. I mean, it's wide open. It's there for the taking. So how can you not do that? But at the same time, what's the return going to be? And how much are you willing to sacrifice for what I'll give Don Sweeney credit in the last calendar year has become a good stable of picks and prospects. Like, I mean, from what I'm told, they want a first and a good prospect for Sherwood. Are you willing to give Toronto's pick or your own pick?
No.
I'd give
no.
Florida's. I'd give the Florida one they got in the Marchand deal. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Well, I guess I'll put it this way. And by the way, I do think that Carolina is probably my team in the East. Avs, obviously the West.
I'm worried about goaltending
Okay.
though.
Yeah, you like Freddie?
Carolina scares me.
I just, it's still early, and like we've
They
just
can
talked
still
about,
get a goalie, right?
it's wide open, but I think that they've been pretty good. And it does stink that Montreal in the last 10 games or so has kind of fallen off, because I was really enjoying when the Bruins and the Canadians were playing, and they were both pretty good.
That game was sick. That Saturday night game.
Yeah, that was a great game. That was good. But so yeah, what I will say about Don Sweeney and his philosophy for the trade deadline, or trades in general, I guess, is I think he's going to do exactly what he did last year and wait till the last minute to see where they are and do a deal then. So I think we're still really way too early for him to be thinking about moving assets and trying to get someone right now. To me, it seems like he's going to wait it out. And if they are, a team that's going to be in the playoffs, he'll buy, but he's not going to, I don't think he's getting rid of those first round picks. Those are picks that he wants to take. Those, I don't think he's getting rid of any of those, to be honest. Like when we talked to him in the beginning of the season, that preseason press conference that he does with Neely and Jacobs, he talked about the importance of restocking their draft capital.
Yeah.
And if anything, I could see them leaning towards being sellers if they're on the bubble and trying to restock the draft capital, because they know, sure, they could be a playoff team this year, maybe if they're at a certain point in the standings, but they're not a contender. So I do still think he leans towards keeping or adding draft capital and prospects.
You're making my night. You're making my night. This is exactly what we've been saying.
What have we said about that interesting preseason State of the Nation address, as opposed to the State of the Nation address they gave when the season was over last year, where both Charlie where both Charlie Jacobs and Cam Neely were adamant about not only making the playoffs, but in the words of Cam Neely, making noise in the playoffs. And then all of a sudden they come back. And Bridgette, everything you say, I agree with. Like, I don't think they should try and sacrifice any, progress they've made towards rebuilding. I don't think they should sacrifice any of that. I think this is all fool's gold. I think this is just a result of the Eastern Conference, as Brendan said, being so mid. But the problem I have here, and this is what I'm trying to figure out, why all of a sudden was there this unified 180? And they said what Bridgette just said, where, we're really looking to restock there. And Charlie was just very quiet as compared to the way he was at the end of last season. Cam was kind of backing up Don. I'm wondering, like, was Cam, because Cam's the guy that goes directly to ownership, right? I'm wondering if Cam, after speaking with Don throughout the summer, said, yeah, all right, I got to get your back here, because you're right. We don't want to just take everything we did at that trade deadline and just trade it away for a question mark in the playoffs, because anything could happen. Like, it's not like they're in a position where they know they can go deep. I think unless you add some superstar, you don't know.
Leon Draisaitl.
Right? It's anyone's game. So here's my thing, though. When it comes down to it, when we get closer to the deadline, all right? And by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, Bridgette, their sellout streak was broken this year, right? There's been some games that haven't been sold out.
I believe so. I think they're still in their sellout streak.
Because it looks like I've seen a lot of empty seats, so they're just no-shows?
Yeah, sometimes that's what happens.
Okay.
I do believe they're still going. If they were going to lose that, it was going to be at the end of last year. But and then there was one game it was reportedly broken towards the end of last year, but then they came back later and said no, it actually did sell out. So I do think it's still going. But I do think I have an answer to your question about why is the tone different from the end of last season to the beginning season press conference there, and it's because look at what they had to work with in free agency in the offseason. They weren't able to get Mitch Marner. There weren't even many guys available because they re-signed with their teams. Mm-hmm. So they never came to the market. And I think that they went into free agency thinking we're going to get one of the top forwards and this is going to turn things around. And that's not what happened.
Ehlers, somebody like that, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's not what happened. And so even Neely mentioned it in the press conference that he knew they needed to add more up front, but what was available was Victor Arvidsson and Sean Corrali and Mikey Asimon, and that's who the options were. And so the tone changes when you go from thinking you can get one of those guys to when you realize you can't.
Yeah. I think that's good that they're admitting that then, that they're being realistic, because if they had come back and said the same thing they said after this, in the spring, in April, I would have been like, what are you guys, politicians? You think we're idiots? You're going to just lie to us like that? Like, I mean, it's pretty obvious. They've done way better than what we would have thought, but I'm glad they did. But I just want to get back to one thing. You get down to the deadline, okay? And it's not just about the team on the ice and winning and all that. It's about this, right? And that's when they're getting their reports in of where their profit margin is. And it's not just about the Bruins. It's about anything that Delaware North is doing. I don't mean to expand and be negative and be Sally Downer here, but we're not exactly in the best economy right now. Considering that Jeremy Jacobs' money is made in concessions and travel, he's probably not doing that great right now, just like anyone else in his shoes. It's common. NHL owners will tell you, they're never going to say this on the record, but I've talked to many before. You can't make a profit unless your team makes the second round of the playoffs. That's a common standard there. So my question is, if they get there and they're either in or just on the outside, do you not think that Jeremy Jacobs is going to say, you make a deal to get me in the playoffs and get to that second round and make me that money? That's what I'm worried about.
Are you saying like if they're like just outside a wild card spot?
Like within 5 points.
Within 5 points of a wild. I genuinely, Jimmy, think that they'd be sellers at that point.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
I hope so. My God, I hope you're right.
I think
We've
you're
been
right.
saying this with this draft.
I'm just worried that money gets in the way. And I hope that Jeremy Jacobs lets Cam Neely and Don Sweeney do their job correctly, because I think they do have a good plan right now, and I credit them for what they've done so far.
Yeah, I think if he really does trust Neely and Sweeney, which I think he does, for sticking with them through what he has already.
Yeah,
I know the fan base does it.
I mean, they also have to outwardly say something that's different probably than what their conversations are internally. They're not going to say, yeah, we're going to raise season ticket holder prices and then put a mediocre team on the ice and you hope that you guys are stupid enough to buy tickets. Like, that's not. So there's definitely some politics.
Fan base, right? They have a great fan base. They know they're going to make money.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's going to be interesting to me. Like, but if the idea is to make, I'm with you guys. I don't think the idea is to fool out, get in the playoffs and make a run right now. I think it's, let's see where we're at, like Bridgette said, and go from there. But if you're a team that is hell bent, like let's say Montreal, right? Or let's say Toronto, right? Who thought Toronto would be where they are right now? Toronto's in it to win the cup right now. Their window is now. They're the type of team that's going to have to make a deal there. And you watched a team like them or other teams, I think are going to jump the gun and not wait to the deadline. Like, I think they're going to try and get ahead of the curve because there's so many teams in the mix. There's going to be pressure in cities like Toronto, or I'm trying to think of another team that's underachieving, guys. The Rangers. We lost your sound there, Brid.
I said Florida because of injuries.
Florida. Good point.
Exactly.
They're not going to be that bad the whole year.
No, and I think they're a team to watch. What is it? Bill Zito's a magician, right? I mean, look at what he's done at the last few deadlines. So it's going to be crazy. Like, this is exciting, I think. It's
great, exciting for, because like I said, so many of the teams are still in it. Everyone's so muddled together. But all right, before we let you go, Bridgette, question. I'm gonna not Debbie Downer. I don't know who Sally Downer is. I think that's her cousin. But I'm gonna flip it to the positive side. You cover Hockey East.
Yeah.
We see the box scores. Tell me how James Higgins, Dean Letourneau are looking, and are they the real deal?
They looked great last week. I'll say that. James Higgins had a hat trick, and Dean Letourneau in the same game had a goal and an assist. I think he assisted on one of those Higgins goals. So Dean has shown such a big jump from last season.
Crazy.
I mean, Higgins is kind of what you expected him to be, and he's working on his shot, and he's working on, being more shot first. And obviously he's got a different cast over there at BC than when he had Ryan Leonard and Gabe Perreault and even, Jacob Fowler backstopping them and then playing mostly in the offensive zone. It's different this year. But he's playing well. He's gotten better as the season has gone on. But I think to me, Dean Letourneau has been the biggest bright spot, just in that I think he was a first round pick the Bruins made that they didn't know what was going to happen with him. He's kind of a unicorn in that he's so big and he's a center, and he went to college probably a year too soon. Bingo. So his stats weren't great, and he didn't have a single goal in his freshman season, and now he's stronger. He's learned how to use his big frame the way that you need to in order to play college hockey. And he still obviously needs to continue to grow and learn in that category because the NHL is even another jump up. But he's shown such good progress that I think you go from thinking, okay, this could have been a first round bust or a first rounder that ends up mostly playing in the AHL, to maybe you genuinely have a guy here that could come in for you in the next few seasons after being done with college. And there's just definitely more hope for him. And I think Higgins is kind of obviously already in the picture, right? I think I haven't talked to anyone that thinks James Higgins it was going to be a bust. He's going to be in Boston either at the end of this season after Boston College's season ends, or probably the beginning of next season. I don't think he's playing another year in college after this.
He's done. I just talked to Greg Brown actually about him and all the Bruins prospects. I'm doing a story on that, Bridgette, and he seemed pretty reserved that James isn't coming back next year.
Well, James Higgins himself said on draft night that he wanted to go. I don't even think he wanted to play at BC this year. I think when he got drafted,
I think they made the right move. But do you agree?
I think it absolutely, and I think it was mostly Don Sweeney's decision to say not yet. on
I'm
that,
for it.
but he had multiple times mentioned on draft night, we'll see if I'm, maybe I'll be with the Bruins, and talking about potentially not even going to BC for a sophomore season. And I think developmentally was the right path for him, but he definitely wants to be in with the Bruins as soon as he possibly can.
How
Bridgette,
often do you think he's ditched class? Can you
I don't
imagine the desire
know.
to go to class? Like,
I know.
yeah,
Well, so
I'm going
here's
to the
the thing.
NHL in a couple months. Like,
My roommate is a professor at Boston College and gets
wow.
some of the guys in his class because it's like a
That's
sport
awesome.
journalism class.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised they go to class. He doesn't have James Hagan, so I can't speak to him. But last year, like Gabe Perreault and Ryan Leonard went to class.
That's awesome. Good for that.
And Will Smith, I actually was in a class that he had to write a paper about me 2 years ago.
No way.
because I was on the women's panel, like women in sports panel, and so he seemed like he was listening to what I was saying. So I was like, wow, this kid's about to be in the NHL, and he's actually seems like he's a pretty good student
cool.
too.
He's the
Yeah.
Fresh Prince. He's a fresh prince.
Yeah. It was
But I mean,
funny. I was like, oh, he's good.
This coming from the guy who senior year in high school almost didn't graduate because I ditched so much. So I'm not the best example. But anyways, moving on.
It's BC, man. They make sure they go to class. Trust me.
True. Yeah,
This-
we got plenty
this
of
isn't-
relatives that
this
went
isn't
there, right,
Michigan
Jimmy?
or Notre Dame.
Yeah. And then you two UMass alums, right? So I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm UMass.
They didn't, whatever. Like, I don't know what it's like now, but yeah, back in the day, there was no class. Would sit and play Sega Genesis during class. But anyhow, Bridgette, one thing I want to final question on is you were saying you are doing a great job covering BU hockey. In general, watching the Hockey East this season, would you agree that it's gone down compared to last year?
Well, I mean, rankings wise, for sure. And because they had
so many go pro. So many guys went pro.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing about college hockey is turnover at Boston College, Boston University, like the teams that are constantly ranked top 10 in the country, the turnover happens even faster there.
Yeah.
So when you have that, it's like you have a guy for a year, like you have Macklin Celebrini for a year.
Mm-hmm.
You have Ryan Leonard for 2 years. Like you're not just, it's not a 4-year cycle. It's you're needing to bring in those new players that are just as good every single season. And you also, so the way that the rankings
portal too.
What?
You have the portal and the CHL agreement.
The CHL is gonna say that has changed things.
Right,
yeah, the CHL stuff has changed things a lot. And it's actually made it so that more guys are in the portal because teams are recruiting CHL guys, and then now there's no room for guys that are already on the team, and they transfer out, and it's a whole thing. But the reason why Hockey East, the rankings are what they are, and they don't have a number 1, number 2 team in the country like they did last year with Boston College and Boston University both being up there, is because as a conference, they've lost a lot of their non-conference matchups in the way that the system works with the NPI, which determines, the end of season rankings and who's going to make the tournament. The more times your conference beats up on the other conferences, it just multiplies your ranking, and you go up and up and up. And when you get beat in the other side, which is what's happening this year, when you lose a majority of those, it makes your conference look worse as a whole, and it compounds to, like, it's like a snowball effect either way. If everyone does good non-conference, it goes up. If everyone does bad non-conference, it goes down. So it's been hurting them because there's been some losses to Michigan State, who's a great team, but like then you'll have other losses to bad schools that bring things down quite a bit. And
so
we talked about it on the show. I went and saw Michigan State because I actually live in Detroit. Even though I'm a Bostonian, I live in Detroit.
Yeah,
I went to see McKenna play live against Michigan State, and they absolutely abused him. I walked out of Mon Arena saying,
that's an amazing team. That is my pick for the title. Yeah.
But then they got swept by Wisconsin the following weekend, but
I still think they're the real deal. They have a great goaltender. They are big. They are tough to play against. I have Porter Martone, who is one of the top picks in the draft this year, and they've
Flyers.
Yeah. They've got a stacked roster.
But get it. So the reason I asked you about the quality of the conference. So on that note, when you're watching, some of these Bruins prospects, are you looking more specifically at how they do against out of conference teams? Like, say, I know.
No. But just
level of competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm not looking at that necessarily. Like I see Jonathan Morello a lot because I'm at BU.
Mhm.
Do all their men's home games. And so I just watch for consistency,
Okay.
right? From game to game. And yeah, I mean, obviously you look at the tougher teams to beat and you put more stock into that, but somebody like Morello he's like an engine. He's brings energy. Like, can he do that every night? Can he bring that against the good teams and the bad teams? Can he win his faceoffs? Like, there's just different things like that. And obviously when they're playing a team like Michigan State, it brings things to a different level. And you're like, oh wow, he can do this against Porter Martone, or he can do this against some of the or against a great goalie like Trey Augustine. But yeah, it's just, to me, I think college hockey, the big thing is consistency.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Bridget. My final question to you now. I know you're doing the calls for the men's team, correct?
I'm doing ringside for the men's team. I do play-by-play for the women's team, and then
You
I
do
do
play-by-play for the women's team. Well, I
yes, and then I
see.
do whatever Hockey East on Nesson wants me to do. So
Okay.
last week was play-by-play. This week is color. I get sent all over the
Nice.
place to
All
do
over
Are
this.
they going to send
wearing
you to
lots of hats.
Belfast?
What'd you say?
Are they going to send you to Belfast in 4 weeks?
I have asked so many times. The women are going to Belfast. I've been trying to get going, but I think they have a local broadcaster that they use, and I've been trying
Oh
to be.
no!
Yeah, we were trying to get me and
I'm
Kaylee
going
to go.
back. I'm going for the women's. I'm going to be back there for that. I just
I
got
wanted
back
to
from the
go.
men's.
I wanted to go so bad, but they said we're not broadcasting it.
You
At
get-
least us personally, like the BU crew isn't broadcasting it. So that was a bummer. Really wanted to do that.
all right.
I've been to Ireland before, but not
Okay.
Belfast.
Listen, if you really want to go, get in touch. Let me see if my friend Sarah Stanton with Cara Group Travel can do something to persuade the powers that be to send Bridgette Proulx over there to Ireland. Because
Yes.
I think you need to be there.
I would love to. I would
And
love
I
You
to. I've
should be
always
your
said I
agent
wanted
now,
to go.
Bridget. Yeah.
We got to take you here. That's McConnell's Distillery.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
We're doing
When I went to Dublin, I went to Pierce Lyons Distillery, which is
Oh,
in
yeah.
a church. Have you been to
Okay.
that one?
This is in a prison.
I was in a prison. This one was in a church.
Quite the opposite.
Jimmy fit right in at the prison one.
but there was also a lot of like religious tie-ins to
Oh, yeah.
like different factions and everything.
Yeah,
So we learned some history there for sure.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like just seeing the players like experience all the stuff they learned about the Troubles and how far the city has come. It's amazing. But like you would love it over there. And the great thing is, I think we're going to be sitting down with all 4 coaches at McConnell's while we're there. So I will. I'll drop your name to kind of open the conversation.
Yeah,
So
hopefully they're like, oh, we like her.
yeah, I'm sure that will open it up for us. So good stuff. All right, Bridget, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks
Yes.
for joining us. Great insight. You definitely know all levels of hockey, so we appreciate it so
you.
much. Thanks for that great insight.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
hopefully have you on again soon.
Hope to see you
yeah.
soon,
Let me
Bridget.
know.
Have a good
All
one.
right.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you for
All
having
right,
me.
See you. See you later. All right, Bridgette
She's awesome,
Proulx
man.
joining us. Knows
Yeah.
her stuff.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
works
she
hard.
pretty much covers everything.
Do you notice what she said too when I said, so tell us where we can find you? And the final thing was, and I do games for Nesson wherever the heck they send me.
Pretty much.
And I've seen her in action where she's been at a Bruins game and it was like midway through the third period. Actually, I think it was like a year ago yesterday during the Bruins Centennial game against Montreal. She got a call mid third period. Hey, because that was an afternoon game. Remember, it was like a 2:00 start.
Yep.
And there was a Sunday night college game. And at last minute, somebody got sick. Hey, we need you to fill in and do announcing. So she went right from the Bruins game to that.
She was out.
She's a hustler, man. She knows
There
what
you
she's
go.
doing. She knows her stuff. So I really hope, she keeps moving up the ladder there because she's doing a great job.
For sure. All right. Yeah. So let's get to our listeners here. What?
Let's get to our Q&A here because we got to go to bed. Bud.
Q&A. Yeah. That went long. All right. Here's our guy, Harry Mostaway. Do you guys think Swayman has been playing too much lately?
No.
Sturm said it before the game. He's going to ride the hot hand, and the hot hand ran out tonight. I mean, again, it was
I would expect Corpusalo against St. Louis on Thursday.
Absolutely.
And who do they get Saturday, by the way? I forget.
New Jersey.
Yeah. Corpusalo Thursday, Swayman Saturday.
No Jack Hughes because he can't hold a steak knife. I mean, that's a winnable game.
Apparently, no NHLer can. They all need to hire their own barbecue guys. They're dropping
Jeez.
like flies when they try to be chef.
Crazy.
All right.
What do you got for us, Jimmy? At Ethan Russell, 55-12, my guy. Here's the big question. Who steps out of the lineup when Pasta is
Up front. Wait, let's see this for a
not
second.
Steve's? Kastelik, not Janot. They pay him too much money. It might be Kuzi right now. I mean, off
I
the
would
top
say
of my head.
Kuzi. He had a horrible game today. Horrible
Yeah,
game.
he was very, it's kind of like my thoughts on him. I actually said that to my wife. It's like, he got moved up to the first line. He had that great couple weeks, but then it's like the league, like a hitter, right? Like the league's figured him out. So
Mhm.
now he has to make the adjustments back.
So here's what I do. You had tonight, you had Steve's, Lindholm, Geeky, Middlestat, Zucker, Arvidsson, Janot, Minton, Costello. They're not breaking that up. We know that.
Nope.
Kuzi, Corrali, Isimont. I would take Kuzi out. I would move Middlestat down to the fourth line on the left wing or at center. You can play Corrali any way you want. I would move Steve's down with Zucker and Arvidsson. And then you switch over. Geeky can play the left too. You just switch him, and he goes over, and then Pasta comes in.
Yeah, I think so. Good call.
Yep. All right.
All right, what else you got, Jimmy? Hit us. All right,
Jimmy
there's our guy at
Swayman was off his game. Go ahead.
63-42. Jimmy Swayman was off his game tonight. The first goal he had no chance at, but he was off his lines with his posts all night.
100% agree. We
Yep.
both said it before we came on. He stunk. That's it.
Jimmy, what else you got? At Declan's S3, not 67.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Who, in your guys' opinion, is the
And what's
Bruins
with Aaron Judge there, Deck?
It's his favorite player.
You're not racist? Oh
huh?
my God! What is happening, Brendan? You're not a Red Sox fan anymore. I forgot.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So why don't you just leave the kid alone? He's got good taste.
I'm
Best
not
player in the
leaving it.
American
I
League.
wasn't him. I was going after. I was going after his dad.
Well, of course, you
He's
always
just
go
a
after
kid.
me.
He's just a kid.
So this brilliant question by this brilliant kid. Most underrated Bruin. I don't know. I mean, Geeky's come out of nowhere. What do you think?
Well,
Who's
not
the most
now.
underrated?
I wouldn't say
Huh?
Geeky now. I don't think Geeky's underrated now. I think everybody's singing his
True.
praises.
Yeah, maybe Kastelik.
No, Alex Steves.
It's fair. He's looking great.
Yep.
Like so good. Like extend him good. Like soon. You know what I mean? So,
Good
what else you
find.
got for us, Jimmy? At Ethan Russell, 55-12. I don't know, Chris. You think who's the Dinoff is more productive of the fourth line than Isamont? Yeah, but again, Isamont's the sandpaper. They signed him. They're gonna have him out there.
And that's the only line with consistent chemistry that hasn't been affected by injuries or bad play. They've
Right.
just been the most consistent line on the Bruins, and maybe, arguably, I'd say maybe top 10 lines in hockey in terms of consistency. I'm not talking production. I mean in consistency.
That's a great point. What else you got, Jimmy? All right, C06 63-42. Today should have been a Corpusalo game. Sway already hasn't been good when starting 3 straight. Tonight was his 4th. It's a good call. I thought that too, Chris. To your point, I thought look, I looked up the Bruins record all time at LCA, and it's a winning record. It's like now 14-9 and something. But I swear, in the 9 losses, they've gotten their ass kicked every time they've lost here. Like I've
one of
been
them
to
was
some
on New
games.
Year's Eve a couple of years back. I remember that.
Yeah, they've gotten buried here a number of times in LCA. So you're right. I think that's a great point. I would have gone Corpy tonight and saved Sway for Monty's homecoming on Thursday. But hey, what else you got for us, Jimmy? And there's at C066342. Welcome back, Jimmy.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, they missed you. They had to just put up with me for 2
I
games.
missed you guys too. No, hey, I thought you did awesome, man. I missed you too.
Ethan carried me. And Chris. They were great. All right, what else you got, Jimmy? C066342. Swayman was the most underrated coming into the season. Too many were ready to dump
That's
him
a
after
valid
last
point.
season.
Yeah, I think people were writing him off. You're right. And I think one of those people's to the left of me or right of me. I don't know how it depends how the screen goes, but
Wait, what did I say?
Oh, you were writing Jeremy Swayman off. You were on the anti-hate Swayman train.
No.
Oh,
No.
really?
No, I was grade Swayman. If you could get, I wasn't writing him off. I was trading him because he was their most tradable commodity, and you agreed with me on that.
Okay, that I agree with. I just remember you maybe I don't know. Maybe I got you confused with somebody else.
Well, it wasn't about confused with somebody else, but see, what you do is when I give you my opinion on something,
Oh, I legitimate. Maybe I have you confused with somebody else. That's
you
all.
could. You talk to a lot of people, but what I
That's
was
right.
saying was that if he was becoming a problem in the room, which you confirmed that he was, that Marshawn was
Right.
a little ruffled. That that's
Right.
all.
But
But
the
I never
people,
questioned his talent or his
yeah.
ratedness, as it were.
But just to point out, the people that had a problem with him aren't there anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Also true. What else you got for us here, Jimmy? All right, C-No 6340. Jimmy, the most consistent line has been Janelle Mitten, Kastelic. They have yet to be broken up.
Yep, that's what I said.
What else we got, Jimmy? Ethan Russell, 55-12. Carolina is overvalued if they don't upgrade goaltending or defense. I agree
with you.
wholeheartedly, 100%.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, we've been
with
doing
all
this.
that, I agree with. I think Bridgette's totally right. They are a great team, but
Regular season.
Yeah, but I think that goaltending when it comes down in the playoffs is gonna.
Yeah, it's like Groundhog Day until they. Yeah, I mean they keep doing this whole Freddie, whoever the backup is, Kachekov. Before it was
I'm in Edmonton.
Ranta. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like enough is enough.
Yeah.
Hit us again, Jimmy. What you got?
No, Jimmy says that's it. We are good
That's
to
it.
go.
Awesome. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys being here. You said we're, we got the A lineup. Jimmy Murph is back, so appreciate everybody for contributing
What's the
tonight.
jacket you're wearing, Brendan? I like that. It's a snazzy jacket.
Oh, it's a North Face.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's the day job.
What's it called again?
Carson Consulting.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, it's comfy. You know what I mean? Like it breathes. So
Hey, say it again. What's the company name?
Carson Consulting Corporation.
Gotcha. Nice little plug. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Free. We're the best recruiters in the world. Yeah, 5'4". Like I said, the mid bowl tonight.
Brendan could recruit. He can recruit anyone. I'll give him credit on that. Like I've seen the guy in action. I've heard him in action. You're good, man.
Hey, we all, hey, it's my recruiting is to like your writing compared to, a lot of the journalists that are still left. You're a true journalist.
You could recruit. No, see, I don't know if that's PC anymore. I can't say that. I'll say it off air.
An Eskimo to an igloo.
Well, you said it.
Well, hey, it's after 10. It's closing on 11.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, again, the mid bowl down at LCA tonight. 5-4 Red Wings over the Bruins.
Move along.
Ahead.
Right. Huh? Don't dwell on it. Move along.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I'd be interested to see. You think it's a CBA day off tomorrow, but it'd be.
Well, wait. Let me see I'll see if I got an email yet. Nothing yet.
Because I would love a bag skate tomorrow. That would be just a true because Sturm did not look happy on that bench after that.
Way. What time did the game end, Brendan?
It ended at 9:41.
It ended at 9:41. We are now at 10:57. If there was going to be a change in the schedule, we would have gotten it by now. So as of now, it appears no practice tomorrow, but that's per CBA. It's not Sturm being soft. It's just.
Yeah. He can't. So next time we'll see him together is the morning skate Thursday.
Yeah.
With Monty coming to town.
And then you figure they practice Friday and hit the road.
Yeah. And you talk, they got New Jersey Saturday.
They're
home Saturday. They're going to have a nice, crisp practice on Friday, believe me.
Yeah, Friday will be a good practice.
So, but my point is, you got Monty coming to town. I know you like to say this stuff, but bet the Bruins heavy Thursday because, Sturm's going to get into them, I think, a little bit here. The Blues are a mess. You got him and Monty and Binnington bickering. I think that's some, as you like to say, some low-hanging fruit for the Bruins. Thoughts, Jimmy? Even without, but hey, without Pasta though, all bets are off.
But I tend to think teams play for their coach when the coach is playing the team that fired him, and I think.
So you think you're going the other way? Then Monty's
I think money goes on the board there, and I think the whole Binnington Monty thing was overblown. It's just Binnington's just a miserable bitch. That's just the way he is. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong. That's what he feeds off, and that's what's made him so good. I'm not saying that as an insult to him. It's just he's a miserable dude, but
he makes you look like a ray of sunshine.
well, I am a ray of sunshine, brother. Ray of rainbow. I'm a leprechaun, bud.
Uh-huh.
All right, but I'll tell you what I think is that they're going to want to win that for
Monty. Interesting. Okay.
So here's how I would do it if I was a betting person.
And you are.
You take the Blues first period. Bruins to win because the Blues blow leads like they're going out of style.
Interesting. All right, I like the prediction.
Yeah,
I think
and also, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Our listeners and viewers can go double check. But last I saw after Korpisalo's last start, he has allowed the first goal in all but one of his games this season. One of his starts this season, he has allowed the first goal of the game.
Yeah, I saw that. You're right.
So even if you don't want to bet Blues first period, you get better value. Actually, if you bet Blues first goal of the game, you might get better value.
Interesting. Yeah. So 2 more home games here for the Bees, and then like you said, they head out the road, kind of like a tour of the Central Division. So another date with the Blues next week. So I want to thank everybody for being here as always. Producer Jimmy back in Montreal, you're the man. Thanks for putting up with both Murph and I. All the listeners, Ethan, Chris, Harry, anybody else, that handsome kid that asked the question with the Aaron Judge picture.
I love
the whole
that.
gang.
Is he a Yankees fan though too, or is it just Judge he likes? Because the kids today just like players, right? It's not really teams.
I would say he likes the Yankees. Yeah.
Okay. Is he a Tigers fan?
No,
I kind of dig the Tigers.
Yeah, they've definitely played hard. They played over their heads this year.
Yeah,
I think if there's a Detroit team that we get behind in this house, it's probably the Lions.
Yeah,
because it's been like they're so down, and then and like I said, all my buddies they all came into the season like pumped up, and now they're hurtful. Like I got a text from my buddy Ron this morning after the Pats win last night, and he was like, "Oh man, your Pats are looking great." And the Lions are out of, they were
like,
one of the favorites going in.
Misery team, the Lions or the Bills? I mean, that's a hard question there, right?
Yeah, well, that was kind of the joke, right? That was like always like the, it's like the Bills and the Lions playing the Super Bowl, and then that's when like Putin will push the button so it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like
that would be something.
Yeah. But anyways,
you know what? I'll tell you too, not to just sidetrack from hockey. I wouldn't want to face, if I was a top seed in the NFL playoffs, I wouldn't want to face either of those teams in the first round. Like, or
Bills or the Lions?
Yeah, like that would be a tough.
If they get in, you're right. Yeah.
The second seed, right? It wouldn't be the top, it would be the second. Like if you finish high, I don't think that's the biggest reward is to face the Bills and the Lions, because if you really think about it, they should have been higher to begin with. So
well, not only the top seeds get the bye now.
Yeah. It's just like in hockey, right? Like let's say, I don't know, think of a crazy team that shouldn't win the Eastern Conference and then has to face like the Maple Leafs or the Devils or the Panthers in the first round. You know what I mean? Like I bet there's going to be a lot of teams that have home advantage in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs in the East that get bounced, because it's going to be flip-flop where teams that should have been the top seeds or the lower seeds. It's going to be like,
I mean, it could be somebody wacko. I mean, the way it is, like, it could be somebody wacko like the Islanders or Columbus. I mean,
yeah, winning the conference, but then they have to face the Leafs in the first round.
Or Florida. Like if Florida gets their guys back and goes on a heater.
Back. Yeah.
Almost kind of like the record-setting Bruins did. Remember, you're always quick to point that out. I'm going to give you the credit for that. The Florida was beat up all that year, and they just got in on the last game of the season.
And you know who gets no credit for that? He's been on like 4 teams since. The goalie, what's his name? The backup that
Alex Lyon.
Yeah, he was with the Wings for a bit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, now in Buffalo, poor guy, but
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, good show tonight. Bridgette Proulx with great content.
Yeah, thanks
again.
For us.
That's why you guys listen. Murph's connected. He's got all these connections around the league, so she was awesome. Appreciate you guys being here. Again,
I'm not going to say the name, but you got connections too, and we're going to get him on the show.
Hey, we'll see what happens.
We will.
So appreciate everybody for being here. Jimmy in Montreal. Murph, thanks to you, listeners. Appreciate you being here. Again, Wings 5, Bruins 4. This is the Bruins 5s podcast on the Sick Podcast Network, the sickest Bruins podcast. See you guys on Thursday. Good night.
See you, Declan.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Bruins Vibes on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.